Welcome to AirTurn TV. I'm your host, Hugh Sung. Welcome to episode number 6. And today I have a couple of special guests. First, we have a brand new co-host, Megan Sampson. Hey, Megan.
Hi, Hugh. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for helping me run the show. And before we get too far along in the show, Megan, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you now, just generally speaking, and what are you doing, and how did you come across AirTurn?
I'm a college student. I'm just about to graduate, and I'll be studying to become a teacher. I joined AirTurn thanks to my aunt that also works for AirTurn, and I just previously this last summer we came through and went to 2 different NAMM shows. So I've been really helping with the sales part of AirTurn and getting in on the businesses, getting to go to Guitar Center, getting to meet all those store managers and really make our name known for AirTurn.
Yeah, and the other show that you actually went to was the Gear Fest for Sweetwater. It's another company that we work with. So that's really cool. And so your aunt, just to let folks know, is Ginny Sudella, Ginny Sudella, who you call Gigi. Is that right?
Yes. I don't know why. It's just always been that name.
Very cool. Well, we're very, very thankful that Gigi or Ginny brought you on board, and you've been helping us out with sales. You were at the show, and in fact, there are a couple of videos of you. I think you and me together. We were demonstrating some products that.
Yes.
It's very, very fun. So
it really has been. I was not expecting that either, and we really got to show off our new products, and everyone got to see us demonstrate them. Great.
Yep. Cool. All right, so let's jump right into the news a little bit. So the news for today, November 9th, 2013. Last week, you may recall that we had made an announcement that there were some problems with Unreal Book. It's an app that reads PDF files, very popular app, but the developer had actually posted a Twitter tweet saying that his previous version 1.92 had some compatibility issues with the AirTurn, specifically something to do with AirTurn and search. So he was actually advising people not to upgrade to that version. Well, the good news is the developers just posted another tweet a few days ago saying that his latest version, 1.93, has fixed all those problems. So, in fact, I just got an email from a customer just a few minutes before starting the show saying, Unreal Book and AirTurn's not working. I've upgraded iTunes. What am I going to do? The solution, you might have to update Unreal Book one more time. Make sure you have version 1.93. It's the latest version. It was just approved a few days ago. So if your AirTurn stopped working a few days ago or hasn't been working for a week, try updating Unreal Book now, and you should be good to go. If you still have any problems, obviously email us. Let us know at support@airturn.com, and we'll try to get you up and running right away. Okay, so moving on to the next item of the news. As you may know, AirTurn products, well, we have one product in specific, the AirTurn BT105 2-pedal board, our best-selling product right now. It's now in Guitar Center stores nationwide, and Megan, maybe you can help us. We're actually planning a little bit of guerrilla marketing. We're invading Guitar Center stores. As you mentioned, you actually visited one of the stores. Tell us a little bit about what customers can expect when you walk into a Guitar Center store. Where can you find our products? And tell us about your experience going there.
I just visited one of our San Antonio locations, Guitar Center. So when you walk into the store, our products are typically in the pro audio department. They have set up a new iPad kiosk where you can find our BT105. And yesterday it was down on the left side. I'm not sure where it would be in every store, but it was really well presented, and I got to demonstrate our product to some of the GC pros in the store, and they got to really have the hands-on feel of what our product is and how well it can help our customers. Other than San Antonio, I plan on visiting 2 Austin locations next weekend, so we're just hitting all the lower hill country, Texas, and southern cities, and then Gigi's working up, and so are you. So we're all trying to get out there and get Guitar Center really familiar with our product.
So, if you don't mind, can you tell me, if you can recall off the top of your head, which cities is Ginny planning on visiting? Do you remember?
Ginny has told me that she'll be in California, all over the Texas, more the northern Texas cities. since I'll be here in Southern, and she's just trying to distribute as much as she can so we can really. She's only told me in California. Did she say any other ones to you? I know that you're also in Illinois and North Carolina, South Carolina, or some of the states.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be flying out to Chicago. I'll be visiting some stores up in the Chicago area. Actually, a store out in Indiana. Flying down to Atlanta, driving from Atlanta all the way, and hitting some stores between Atlanta and Charlotte. Yeah, we have our special guest going wow over there.
I'm just trying to help as much as I can, being a student, but also trying to hit these lower Texas cities. So.
Well, there are a lot of Guitar Center stores in Texas, so that's a big area to cover. It's almost a country in itself.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
A lot of area to, so after my Midwest and my Southeast tour, then I'll be hitting stores between Washington, D.C., all the way through Delaware, Pennsylvania, Baltimore. I think I'm also going to be going up to I know Boston, the New York City area, so we're hitting a lot, and that's just me. And then we have other members. Yeah, we have other members of our team hitting. I know Colorado for a couple of stores as well. So we may not hit all 255 stores, but we're going to hit a lot of them. So
it's really, I could tell just by that one visit that I've already had that it's just really making an impact for them to know exactly what our product does, even though it's an easy concept, that they really like to have it demonstrated for their customers, to be able to explain to them how it works and how great it will be for them.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much for all the things that you're doing to help us get the word out to Guitar Center stores and really the people all over the country that, of course, you can buy AirTurn products online, but now if you want to try them out or just get them in person, go right to your local Guitar Center store and pick it up. It's awesome.
So awesome. The manager I spoke to yesterday was like, well, look at there. Y'all are already in the Guitar Center. You are making your way. And I was like, yeah, you know what? We are. That's a really big step for us.
It is, and it's kind of interesting. I think they were asking you, it's like, well, how many people are in your company, right?
Yeah. I was like, about 7 of us are walking around store to store.
We're a small group, it's been such a neat journey to get to this point too. So anyway, moving on to our next item. As you may know, if you've been watching us for a little while, we have a weekly contest. Basically, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/AirTurn, and if you kind of look on this TV screen, I have see if I can get my finger. Yeah, I'm trying to be like the weather person that can move their hands on the virtual map. See that little free button there? Click over here. If you click on that, and then it's just basically a little message encouraging you, inviting you to like our page. And for anybody who has liked the AirTurn page on Facebook, you automatically qualify for a drawing for a free copy of my book, From Paper to Pixels. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. When you click on that free button, you're going to see this little applet come up. It just encourages you, just click on the like button, and if you like us, you are eligible to win a free copy of my book, From Paper to Pixels, Your Guide to the Digital Sheet Music Revolution. It's really a guide for musicians who really don't know anything about tech. You may not know anything about computers. If you're watching this show, you're probably a lot more savvy than a lot of musicians out there, but anyway, and if you're on Facebook, you're pretty savvy already. But for the vast majority of musicians, computers, technology, digital sheet music, it can be pretty intimidating. This book is written to be really easy and I hope a lot of fun. A lot of my personal stories are in it, and it's kind of a soup to nuts guide for everything you need, from picking the right computer to selecting the right apps to where do you download music. We're going to get to that in just a second too with our special guest. Apps and sources for digital sheet music, and so I give a free ebook version of that, but it's available in ebook and paperback. So without further ado, let us announce. Okay, Megan, you got to give me a drum roll there. There you go. This week's winner for our Facebook liking contest for the free ebook is Kurt Slabbert. Hey, congratulations, Kurt. You've just won a free copy of From Paper to Pixels, Your Guide to the Digital Sheet Music Revolution. I will be sending you an ebook version of the book right away, and I hope you enjoy it and tell your friends about it. And, of course, you can find both the paperback and the ebook versions on the AirTurn website. You go to store.airturn.com. You'll see the book featured there. Or you can go to Amazon and find both the Kindle and paperback versions available there as well. So, without further ado, this week's preview. The app of the week is Virtual Sheet Music Viewer. And this is a phenomenal app that is free. It's a free app that links to an incredible website that has actually been around for a very, very long time that provides classical sheet music for students, performers, teachers, but a whole lot more too. And without, I want to bring our guest in to talk more about it, because this is the founder of Virtual Sheet Music, Fabrizio Ferrari. Hello, Fabrizio. Welcome to AirTurn TV.
Hello, Eugen. Thank you for having me.
Now, I understand that your website, virtualsheetmusic.com, actually you have an ongoing video series where you interview lots of musicians. You have musicians also giving video lessons and tips, and so you've actually interviewed a lot of other folks, but I think this is the first time you've been interviewed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. In a video interview, that's right.
So welcome. I'm very honored to be the first one.
Oh, absolutely. The honor is mine.
So, Fabrizio, tell me, virtualsheetmusic.com has really been around since, what, 1999? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It's been a long journey.
Well, back in the dark ages before, back then I think I was writing, I don't think I even had email back then. Tell folks, I mean, really, I think one of the amazing things about being an entrepreneur like you are is having that gift to see into the future, see what's possible really before anybody else does. And so, I mean, 1999, who would have known? And here you're building one of the internet's largest resources for classical sheet music that people can get digitally, before anybody else. Very few people were doing it at the time. Can you tell us what inspired you to think about that?
Sure, it's been it's been an incredible story. I can just tell you that at the time I wasn't an entrepreneur. I used to be just a musician. I used to be a professional violinist, professional music composer, but not an entrepreneur. So all the story began back in, besides being a musician, I always used to have the passion for the computer programming. And I remember when I was a kid, I began to program in BASIC. I was 13, and I used to make video games for my sister. My sister used to play with them, and I used to program games for her. And so, I remember my parents used to be mad of me because I used to stay in front of my computer my entire day instead of studying violin, right?
Now, did your violin playing suffer because of your computer work?
Yeah, well, yeah, let's say that. No, the truth is that I had to abandon the computer programming at a certain point because I had to just dedicate myself to the music. And you are a professional musician too, so you know that you had to make a choice at a point. So I decided, okay, let's move on with just the violin, and I began to work professionally in several orchestras. And so I had this period of time between the end of the 80s and the middle of the 90s where I actually forgot about computer programming, and so I just dedicate myself playing violin professionally around several orchestras in Italy and abroad. So, and then I don't see my face on the main screen. Is that correct?
Well, I'm seeing you just fine.
Okay, no, that's okay. So probably it was my side. That's okay.
Megan, are you seeing Fabrizio?
Yes, okay? I see him.
Okay, that's great, because I was seeing Megan. I don't know why. But anyway, I can keep talking.
I'm going to tell your wife.
Yeah, he's watching now, so no escape. So I was saying that. So I just stopped programming with the computer until the internet came out, right? And was at the time was 1994. So and I remember I was getting pretty bored in the orchestra. I used to play opera repertoire all the time, and if you play the violin in the orchestra for opera, it gets pretty boring after a while, And fortunately, I had also the composition, so I could have some fun with that. But when the internet came out, I was so excited about this new thing, that oh my gosh, I got to put my hand on this internet. And at that time, there wasn't even actually the real graphic web we know today. At that time, you may remember, we used to have just those things called the BBS.
That's right.
The
bulletin
board
systems.
systems. Yeah. So I remember.
That,
yeah, I was in Italy also. I wasn't even here in the US. So in Italy it was really something. I mean, it's such ahead in the future. Nobody knew about the internet at the time. It was probably one of the few ones dealing with the stuff. And so at the time I began to play with that. I bought a modem, and I began to to connect to this BBS where they were just text based, and so I could chat on that and post some topic to discuss with other people. Until it was probably 1995 or 96 when the real web came out. And my gosh, to me it looks like science fiction, right? And so at the time the first browser was called Mosaic, which was actually the first version of Netscape. And so I began to, oh my gosh, my passion for the computer programming came out again, and I began to learn the HTML, and I began also to play with some CGI programming, such as Perl or other kind of scripting programming, and I set up a website, a personal website, back in 1996. Wow. Where I used to distribute my own music compositions for free in PDF file format. And it was pretty funny because I had a lot of people following me on that website, which was, I didn't even have a dedicated domain name. It was inside a general public free domain. I don't really remember the name. And yeah, it was pretty funny. But after just a few months, I had something like 200, 300 people a day downloading my music.
I mean, what was anybody else at that time? I mean, that's marketing. That's internet. That's the beginning of internet.
Yes, I don't think so, because at the time in the search engine world, I remember we used to have InfoSeek at the time. Google wasn't even born yet, so we used to have InfoSeek, and I was at the beginning of the Alta Vista. I don't know if you recall those kind of search engines back then.
Oh, sure. I mean, I remember CompuServe,
Yeah, exactly.
Alta Vista, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. So, and I remember I was at the first spot on InfoSeek and Alta Vista for free sheet music, and I was there for probably a couple of years at the first free spot, because I was one of the few websites distributing free sheet music, and those titles of music were just my own compositions, so it was pretty funny.
That's incredible. I mean, so did anything? So by distributing your music, did it result in performances of your music, recordings of your music?
Oh yeah, sure. I had quite a number of recordings around and some performances. I think I had a couple of radio broadcastings of my music, so it was really exciting for me. But what actually happened was probably 1998 when you reach that tipping point where you think, okay, the internet is so powerful, and there are already some e-commerce websites out there. And I wasn't thinking about opening an e-commerce website at the time myself, but Amazon was just born at the time, and I thought, okay, I need to find, because I was still playing violin professionally, and I needed to buy a copy of the violin part of the string quartet of Debussy. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the store to buy it. And instead, at that time, I thought, okay, let me just see on the internet if I can find a website that sell the music in the digital format. So I thought maybe there are websites out there that sell digital sheet music to download. I couldn't find nothing.
You're the only one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody was selling digital sheet music to download at the time. There wasn't even Music Notes, which is the biggest website for digital sheet music today. I thought, my gosh, I went to my wife. I told her and said, can you believe it? There are no websites selling digital sheet music, which is crazy. And so we talked a little bit, and we thought, okay, why we don't try to sell classical sheet music to download? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, let's see. So I put myself into that. You know, I used to work for the opera theater most of the days, but I had a lot of free time, fortunately. So all my free time was dedicated to this new project. I was so excited about that. And
you wanted to get it out before someone else thought of it.
So yeah, exactly. I mean, it was really amazing. And with the fact I was in Italy, it was pretty difficult for me to find someone that could process credit cards for us at the time. You know? So the only service there was at the time was ClickBank. You know ClickBank? It's really big network.
Actually, I don't. You know, I was.
Oh, you don't know? Okay.
I was just a musician. I was just playing the piano.
Oh, okay, I see. ClickBank is really out there since probably the beginning of on the web, and they allow everybody to process credit card, even internationally. So I could, from Italy, I could join them, and I could process credit cards. The fees were crazy because I had to pay $1 for each transaction.
Oh my goodness!
And 20% commission on each transaction.
Oh man! On top of yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Even because we began to sell music for $2 each, you know. So more than half went to ClickBank.
Oh no!
But it was amazing because the first piece actually we put out there. And after several months, I worked on virtual sheet music. I designed the logo myself. I did everything myself.
Wow.
And so we released virtual sheet music was in May of 1999. And I think we opened with just a bunch of pieces, something like 5 or 6 items, not more than that. And after a few hours, we got our first sale. We were amazed. Yeah. My gosh, this thing works. Amazing, amazing. And I remember during the time I was working on the website, it was still in progress, and we didn't open officially. And I already had people sign up for the newsletter just even before the website was open.
Now right now you have an incredibly large newsletter. I mean, from all these years, how many people do you have on your newsletter now?
We have more than 100,000.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And so we began just, you know, having, I remember when we opened the website, we used to have something like 300 people a day. And now we have more than 10,000 unique users a day. And,
incredible, wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a long journey.
So if you didn't have an iPad, people use their computers to put your sheet music on it to play?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought of that because I demonstrate only on iPads. So that's amazing. Even back then, it was becoming such a popular thing. And then iPads came out, and it just became even bigger. And now you have your own app and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I think back then, weren't you, the primary model was for people to go to your site, buy the music, and then you would print it, right? I mean,
yes, exactly.
Right. Okay, yes. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, they actually download the PDF and print it out.
Right,
that
right.
Was the main idea.
And that's what a lot of these most of these digital sheet music websites, that was their primary model. And I know some of them would have restrictive things where you can only print it 1, maybe 3 times, and after that you'd have to call customer support and beg for permission to print 1 more copy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because of the copyrights. In fact, our advantage was that we were selling public domain sheet music. So we could allow people to print out as many copies as they wanted. So
now, I don't know, as Megan was referring, now we have the iPad. And so now we've got this interesting new dimension where people don't have to print out the music. They can buy your music, download it, and in the case of the app that we're going to talk about, virtual sheet music, there's no paper, there's no ink. They can just get it directly in. And in fact, I remember with some of the sheet music sites, I would buy the music, print it, and of course, I'm the worst in the world when it comes to physical things. I just lose paper, just like a black hole in my house. So I mean, but the amazing thing is that if you have a membership, that it would remember all the things that you purchased, right? And then yeah, that's just amazing. So you really can't lose any music that you buy now. Is that right?
Exactly. Actually, you can build your own digital library and take it with you anywhere you go. So that's really amazing.
So with that saying, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my screencast and see if I can. Let me get my. Here we go. Let's go ahead and let me see if I can get this going here. Oops. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna. It takes a little bit of finagling to get my screencast to show.
To switch those screens, are you using one of our pedal boards in the back?
Well, I'm actually going to try to see. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to open up virtual sheet music over here. Are you guys seeing that over there?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the virtual sheet music app, and as we mentioned, this is a free app. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so after you go in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep talking, and maybe you can help me through this. And let me actually do something real quick. I'm going to walk this. Oops.
The only problem I see you is that the screen you are showing is just crops the application a little bit on the top.
Right.
Like it's off-centered almost.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, it does. Well, it's actually, yeah, so it's just showing. Let me see if I can do this a little bit better. Hello. Technical glitches. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Try one more time.
Sure.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's not giving me the cleanest picture, but we'll try this one more time. Hopefully you can still see the essence of the app.
Yeah,
so you don't see the app, but we're looking at a screencast. It's not showing as cleanly as I'd like it to. We can still sort of see. So right now I see you have some Christmas music over here.
Yeah.
But if we were to go to just my music over here, right, and we'll just open up something, we can search for something. If I want to search, in fact, let me get this one of the tips I'm going to show. But let's look for some Beethoven. Oh, okay, here we go. And here's a Largo that I've just found. Let's pull this away. And I can see, so help me understand, I see this Largo. And the nice thing about the app is that it gives you quite a number of free pieces to look around and test the app out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Actually, when you download the free application, you have already something like 50 or 60 free titles included.
That's incredible.
The My Music section, and every time you buy one of the items in the VSM catalog, they get downloaded inside the My Music, so you can build your library there. You can also create folders and to organize your music.
Well, that's great. Let's go through some of those features one by one. But before we do, I want to make sure we can actually see the music. So here I see on the right-hand panel, we've got several options. We have, of course, the name of the piece. We've got this skill level. We also have download. As I see in green, it says download. So I'm assuming that the music's already in my iPad. And I can either view or print. Of course, we're on an iPad. We don't need to print this thing anymore. Let's just go ahead and view this. So if I tap on the word view, thank you for your download. I guess that's the first page of music, right?
because that's a free item. So.
And so what I'm seeing now is the first page. Of course, I've got my iPad turned around. Let me see if I can. What happens if I turn my iPad this way? Okay. Oop. I can see a full page of music this way.
Yeah.
And let me turn this around this way. Oh, interesting. So if I flip it around, I can see just the first part. And what's really cool too is let's do one more thing. I'm going to double tap this. If I double tap the screen, there's a little icon in the top right-hand corner. It looks like a little sprocket. I'm going to tap on that, and I see settings over here. Tap on this. If you want to use an AirTurn pedal to turn pages hands-free, you want to make sure you set that thing so it's turned on. You see it kind of green in the background. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. The only problem I don't see that part of the screen on my.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well it might be your app's video out settings. But in any case, can you guys see the page right now?
I see just a quarter of the page at the top left.
Really? That's really strange. Can you see it? Is it showing any better now?
No, just the. What about you, Megan? I see just the top left
corner, and it almost looks like there's several windows.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it another way, full screen. We're going to show it to you this way, guys. Okay, you're going to see. Hopefully, this works a little bit better. Yes?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, guys. Now you can see my whole screen, yes?
Oh, okay, that's perfect.
Beautiful. Okay, so now we're seeing this. So I'm cheating a little bit, so I'm going to actually go back a little bit, double tap the middle of the, so I just very quickly double tap the middle of the screen. I'm going to see this little sprocket in the top right-hand corner. If I tap on that, You can see this little pop-out box. I'm going to tap on Settings next. And this is to turn your AirTurn on. By default, it's not on. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. It's off.
So you have to actually turn it on to be able to activate your AirTurn. And then when that's done, you can actually do some other things, like you can change the vertical scrolling speed. What are the page effects? Can you explain some of these other effects for me?
Page effects, they were suggested by some users. The page turn lighting actually gives you like a flash every time you turn the page, just to give you because sometimes when you play and you turn the page, you don't realize actually a page has turned.
Interesting. Okay.
With the page lighting gives you more more evident way to see the page turn.
Let's see what that's like. I'm going to tap outside of that box, and everything goes away. I'm going to tap again in the middle of the screen 2 times very quickly, and then everything goes away. Now I'm going to press my AirTurn pedal. Okay.
Because you are now in landscape mode.
Oh, okay. So if I was in portrait mode, when I see that flash, let's see.
Yeah, the flash, you can see it even in landscape, but after the
Oh, cool. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you see.
Kind of like a camera flash, right?
Exactly.
Very cool. So if I want to turn that effect off, go ahead and go into Settings. Let's see what it looks like without that. Double tap outside, and now it just turns. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, it just turns. Yes, and the second setting of the effect is the how is it called? The dimming. Yeah, that's actually another suggestion we had from one of our users. Because one of our users one day said, "Oh, I need to use my iPad in the dark in the theater, and I don't want the brightness of the screen to in front of my face." So that setting allows you to, according to your environment condition, you can
very, very clever.
Define the brightness.
You can make it as really dark, a little too dark.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to put it back into full lighting over here, and of course you can change the speed of that. One of the things I thought was really cool, I was playing around with a little bit. When I'm seeing my music this way, a lot of other apps will just turn half the page, so you can see the top half, the bottom half. But here it looks like when I turn the page, I just scroll a little bit and I turn it forward again. And that it looks like you have 3 sections to the page, which is really cool.
Yeah, I've tested that several times, and we decided to move this way because for our musicians works much better.
And I like that because you can see the animation of where you're moving, so you don't get lost.
Exactly, you don't get lost.
And you can go backwards; it goes the same amount. This is really. I'm pressing this with my AirTurn pedal right now, by the way, if you guys don't know. So this is very, very cool. Forward. Third of a page at a time. Looks great. And let's go into a little bit of annotation. This is a new feature you've added to the app. Is that right?
Yeah, just basic annotation. Just
So I'm going to double tap the middle of the screen, and you want to see that little thing that says annotations. You can turn that off, or you can turn that on. Now here's one extra step I didn't realize. Fabrizio, you might want to explain this to me.
Yeah, on iOS 7 actually may be a little bit confusing. The annotate blue text on the right of the switch must be tapped in order to enter into annotation mode.
So let's go ahead and tap that, and now you see this little pen and eraser, and so now if I'm going to tap the pen, you see it's in black, and now I can write down circles. Oh, this is so cool. Can I scroll? Oh, I can even zoom in and do G sharp over here, D, oops, made a mistake. Tap on the eraser, and I can erase that. Tap on the pen. Oh, this is so cool. D, very nice. So it's just like a nice pen, and I can zoom back out. This is great.
And what I like also this application that once you set a zoom level, you can lock it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's maybe useful for some PDF files where you want just to focus on a certain passage, or you want to zoom in just a little bit to cover as much real estate you can. And
now, what happens when I turn the page with that real estate?
That's a fact. When you zoom into the level you want to lock, you just double tap and you go on the bottom right.
Okay.
In the tools, you see there is the third icon from the right.
Looks like a little circle.
Yeah, exactly. That's the zoom lock.
Oh, cool.
And when it's locked, you can just turn the pages. It keeps that same zoom level for any page. It doesn't make much sense when you focus on just one big bar like you are doing.
Right.
But it's much more used when the PDF file is too little compared with the space you have at your disposal. And so you can just zoom in a little bit to cover as much space you want, and just you lock the screen the way.
Well, this seems to, right now, this is only turning, it doesn't do that kind of dynamic thirds page turning. So
yes, when the zoom lock is on, it doesn't work. But
it would make a lot of sense if you have a custom PDF. Can you load your own PDFs into the Virtual Studio app? Sure. So that would be something you would do through iTunes. Now, I just want to see what happens if I turn annotates. Oh, cool. So I can hide my annotations.
Exactly. The switch is for that.
Oh, and I can turn them back on. Fabrizio, this is so cool. I love it. If I go back to portrait mode, and the annotations stay right where they were, even when I drew them in landscape mode. This is just really, really neat. Let me go back to my annotations there. There they are. Very, very cool. Is there? That's really. I didn't even know about the zoom lock. That's really fascinating. Is there anything else you'd like to show us about the app?
There are a couple of pretty cool features. Always on the toolbar on the bottom right, there is another icon. Yes. Okay. The second icon from the right, the half arrow.
Yes.
Circle. That prevent the auto rotation of the screen.
Interesting. So here I go. I'm going to double tap it. Now I'm going to turn my screen around.
Yes, and shouldn't. No,
it shouldn't do that.
Okay. Let me try with my application here because it's weird. I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it may be a result of being screencast on, and maybe the screencasting is overriding that. But in theory, it's not supposed to prevent you from.
Yeah, exactly. Should prevent to.
Okay. And what are the other icons? Can you explain what the other icons are?
Yes, the first icon on the right is actually the control, the vertical and horizontal fitting, so you can automatically fit the page horizontally or vertically as you may like.
Okay, or fit vertically. Oh, I see. Very cool.
Exactly, which is pretty handy.
Okay.
And my favorite is you see the little movie check?
Yes.
Okay, that one is called performance mode.
Okay.
Which when you enter into performance mode, the application you can't actually you can just turn the pages back and forth. Okay. And you can the way you don't risk to mess up with other commands during performance.
See. So I'm going to hit continue, and now I just see the music. I'm going to turn pages, and I'm going to touch the screen, and nothing's happening.
Nothing happening. Sorry,
Right, I can swipe the screen to turn the page.
Yes.
But I can't if I'm zooming. I'm trying to zoom with my fingers. Nothing's happening.
Exactly.
So there's nothing interrupting the view of the music. It's just focused on reading and turning pages. Very, very cool. This is great. So you have a kind of a practice mode and a performance mode. Now, how do I get out of this if I want to go back to working with my music?
You use 3 fingers and double tap.
3 fingers on the screen and double tap 3 fingers at the same time. There we go. Very cool. And I see a few more icons. I see this one with music notes. What is that one?
Yeah, that's actually gives you the MP3 audio files of the music.
Let's see what this is. Okay, so we've got an MP3 file here.
Yes.
I don't know if we can hear. Can you guys hear that?
Yes, I can see it, but I don't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear it? Okay.
I don't hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hearing it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's playing through my system, but it's not streaming very well. So my apologies. But so you can actually hear the MP3s for. Is it for every single piece in the library?
Yes, exactly. And
that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Besides that, there are also another kind of MP3 files which are called MP3 accompaniment files.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah, which we provide mostly for. Those pieces for a solo instrument with piano accompaniment. Okay. And for example, if you try to search for something for violin and piano,
Okay, so I not only do I want to search. Oh, by the way, here's a little tip for you. I'm going to give away this tip at the end of the show. But if your AirTurn is on and your virtual keyboard doesn't show, I'm tapping in that field, the search box. In fact, here, let me show you what I'm doing over here. I'm going to go back to my. Okay, so right now I've got I'm using Virtual Sheet Music. I'm trying to tap in a search function, but the keyboard is not showing up. So what I'm going to do is, on my AirTurn BT105, you see the little red button here? I'm going to just click it really briefly, and it'll bring up the keyboard. So let me show you again. By clicking it, just don't press it too long. Just click it like a little toggle, and that'll toggle on the virtual keyboard. I'm giving away my tip of the week here. But let me go back to the screencast and show you what that looks like. So go back to my full screen, and let's go back to this. Okay, so once again, if I'm here, I'm tapping. If I'm tapping the search box, there's no keyboard because the AirTurn itself is a keyboard. It's blocking the virtual keyboard. Toggle the red power button, and that keyboard will pop up. Okay, so let's look for. So I was looking previously for Beethoven. I found all the pieces that start with Beethoven. Now let's look at violin, piano. Can I do that? And
yes, should work.
Wow, very cool. So I've got Ode to Joy. Which would you recommend I take a look at, the Vivaldi or?
Just pick the first one, Ode to Joy. That's
fine.
Ode
to Joy. Okay, great. So, so I see on the right now we have the MP3 media items. So we can either just play the whole thing, or look, we've got these accompaniment items. We've got Ode to Joy clean, one with the metronome, and one with the slow metronome. So you've got several accompaniment options.
Yeah, exactly. For each movement or each piece, you have three different kind of accompaniment files. One clean, which means without metronome, one with a metronome, and the third one with a metronome slower, just for practice purposes.
That is so cool. Now here's a question for you. Whenever you're ready to add the 4-pedal AirTurn, or even with the 2-pedal AirTurn, would you consider adding an option so that if somebody were practicing with an accompaniment track, to assign one of the pedals to toggle that track on and off? Was that something?
That would be great. Of course.
Yeah, that would be something really, really cool, because I think that accompaniment track is such a great idea for teachers and for students in particular. Yeah. And instead of having to use your finger to turn the audio on and off, if you were practicing something and you just want to go through a passage over and over again, it might be convenient maybe have one of the pedals turn pages and the other pedal just to toggle on the music on and off. That would be kind of cool. Do you think you can work in that for a future version?
Absolutely. We can work on that.
This is what I love talking to developers for. We could just bounce ideas right on the fly and it happens.
Sure.
It's great.
Great.
Most of your customers have given you the great ideas that you've made.
Oh, yeah. We have such a long list of features we want to add that the only problem is always the time.
Sure. So, let's go back. Is there anything else that you'd like to show us within the app? Let's go to the catalog, actually. Maybe we can talk about if I want to buy music, shall I go to the catalog, or do I look at all items? Or let's say maybe you can give me an example of something I want to buy. I'm a pianist.
Yeah, for example, you can go inside the VSM catalog section, and you can search. You can either browse by instruments and search for piano solo, but that's a long way because we have so many different instrumental combinations. So you can just search for specific title, something like, I don't know, let me see.
Do you have any Rachmaninoff in there?
Rock?
You do, Rachmaninoff, yay.
Oh, yes, we have something.
There we go. So here's some Rachmaninoff here. And so if I want to buy this, what do? I just click on Add to Cart?
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and do that. And so it looks like
see the numbers there. Oh, there we are.
Okay, so that takes me right to the Virtual Sheet Music website. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. It's an integration of the website inside the application.
Very, very cool. And then I can go ahead and check out once I'm interested in something like this. Very cool. And I can just buy it, and as soon as I buy it, it comes right into my my app, right?
Exactly.
Can you go back and maybe let's say I've collected a whole bunch of these pieces, and now let's say I want to go and create a set list. I want to create a folder of the pieces that I'm going to perform at a given recital. Can you show me how we can create a set list? Yeah,
very easy. You just tap on the root, which brings you to the root level of the library, and you click the actually tap, with the iPad, you tap on the edit text I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
And on the bottom right, you see a new. Yeah, on the
okay.
iOS 7 is, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, okay.
And,
And then you just give a name to the folder.
okay, I'm going to click on my AirTurn red power button to bring on my keyboard. And let's call this Hughes, oops, sorry, recital. Okay.
Yeah.
Give it a name. Okay. All right. So
All right.
I see that appearing there with a little minus sign there.
Exactly, because
Okay.
if you want to delete it, you can.
Okay.
And then you tap again on the done at the top.
All right.
And your folder is ready to be filled with your music. So the way it works is pretty easy. You, when you have an item displayed like the way you have now, I mean, I'm not sure if it's gonna work with an item you actually don't have.
Yeah, let's work with just the items that are in the free library.
Okay, so you can go inside the My Music folder.
Okay.
And pick one of the free items in there.
Let's do the Beethoven again.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, now you tap on the icon. You see the action icon under the gear icon, the top right.
It kind of looks like an arrow going out of the box. Okay, so tap on that one. Oh, I see.
You copy item to folder.
Oh, okay, and I can select the folder there.
Exactly. And that's
very cool. And then let's just go ahead and do a couple more. Let's do Silent Night for cello and piano. Okay. Do the same thing. The little arrow, copying out of the box, copy out in the folder. Boom. And now if I want to go back to my folder, I go back to root. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Tap on root, and let's tap on Hughes Recital.
Yes, you
and
should.
There you go. So here's my two pieces. That is so cool.
Yes, pretty handy.
Now I have just the pieces I want. I don't have to keep searching around my whole library. I just pull just the things I need for that performance. This is excellent. Wow. Fantastic. Is there anything else that we can talk about with virtual sheet music?
I think we talked about most of the the most popular features of the application.
Sure.
So of course we keep working on it, and we are already working on the next version, which will expand the annotation feature. So we will give the musicians more tools for the annotations, and also we plan to. This is pretty cool. We plan to give the ability to share the annotations between different devices.
Very cool.
So, for example, if you play with a string quartet, you can put your annotation on your part, and automatically goes on the other musicians' devices at the same time.
So cool. I think networking is going to be a huge aspect for apps. Thank you so much for giving us this amazing walkthrough. I mean,
Absolutely.
I know I tend to focus, of course, on the hands-free page turns, but your app is a lot richer and a lot deeper. And I think, of course, the access. Can you give us a rough idea how large is the library that you've built up in virtualsheetmusic.com?
Well, we have over 2,000 titles, and if you consider that as average, each title includes about 10 items, because you may have a collection with 20 pieces inside or 15. So
for like an orchestral piece or a chamber music piece, right?
Oh yeah, any kind of. Yes.
The other thing I noticed with your scores is that they are pristine. They are so clean. With a site like IMSLP where you download music, the quality can really vary. Sometimes the scans are nice, sometimes they're awful, you know. But how do you, your music doesn't look like it's scanned. How do you make your music?
Yeah, because it's pure digital. Actually, we do it with a notational engraving program, and we just create the PDF file that way without any additional conversion. So it's not acquired with a scanner like most of the music on the IMSLP. And so the quality is at the top of the line, and we try also to give a very practical design for the musicians, something like a very modern way to present the music. I would say that our editions may be compared to the urtext, but with the help of sometimes of the fingerings, all the stuff, all the kind of markings that help musicians in the performance and the practice of the music.
And for those of you who don't know, Urtext is really kind of like the definitive edition. It would be the purest edition that is as close to what the composer.
The original, yeah, exactly.
Right.
We try to be as much as close to the original, but at the same time to add those kind of indications that help musicians to play and to practice the music.
I mean, so these are truly your editions. These are not just
pure.
Yeah, these are not just generic copies of public domain works. These are editions that have been crafted to really look as good as they can, right?
Yeah, and there is another aspect actually of our repertoire, that 2/3 are really the original public domain repertoire from the original compositions, but 1/3 are exclusive and unique arrangements that you really can't find elsewhere. You can find 20 different versions of the Flight of the Bumblebee, from a version for violin and piano to the version for piano solo to the version for piccolo and tuba, because you can really find it.
Now, I've got a question. It's something it just popped in my head. Do you have a program for? I mean, you mentioned that you are a composer. Do you offer services for composers if they want to distribute their music through your website and through this app? Do you have any programs for other composers to contribute their scores to you, and is there a benefit for them to do so? Okay,
you have just tackled one of our future projects, because besides virtual sheet music, we have also this other website which is called musicianspage.com, which is another website I built back in 1999, which is a kind of social network for musicians.
Okay, can you tell me what's going to happen in 10 years? I want to start putting my stock, and maybe you can help my stock price.
Oh my God, it'll be great.
You're just looking into the future, like 10 years ahead of everybody, 15 years. So tell me what's coming up in 15 years, and I'm going to go ahead and invest, because I'm going to stick with your ideas.
Thank you for encouragement. I don't know. So the idea is actually we have this kind of social network for musicians, and currently they just can upload their own music and showcase their own contents. And the idea is to allow them to upload their sheet music and sell it through virtual sheet music. So that's one of the projects we are working now, and hopefully we'll be able to release it next year. I hope so.
Well, you know what? That means you're going to have to come back on AirTurn TV. And
absolutely. Looking forward.
And tell us all, because I think one of the most interesting things about the world of apps and even the world of digital publishing is that it changes so much, almost day by day, week by week, month to month, and as we can see the amazing things that your app does now, that's just the beginning, and you have so many more things that your app will become and that virtual sheet music will become, and not just for sheet music but also a publishing house representing other musicians. I mean, this is an exciting time to be involved with digital sheet music, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, indeed. That's absolutely true, and it's going. Everything is running so fast. It's really hard to keep up, but we try to do the best we can. The problem is always the time, because the more you add and the more you have to manage. So you will see. I mean, you're becoming so big with your company, and you can probably already experiencing that, right?
Have you seen an increase in your customers by the years since you started? I mean, in 1999, you said? I mean, technology is growing, but I'm sure it's also made an impact on the amount of customers that have bought your sheet music.
Yes. That's true, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to quickly just jump ahead a little bit. You were kind enough. I don't know if you can see this through my screen over here, but there's a picture of us at NAMM together, just in front of the AirTurn booth. You came by. It's actually, I think, our first year at NAMM that you swung by.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's not coming out too clearly on my screen over here.
Yeah,
but
I love the picture. I look forward to see you again this coming NAMM. I don't know if Megan is going to be there.
I'll try to be.
All right.
I'll be done with school by then, so I can make it out.
Okay, looking forward.
Okay, so let me just jump up. We're going to wrap up the show really quickly. Just again, we kind of hinted at this already, but so thank you again, Fabrizio. We're going to say goodbye altogether at the end. But the tip of the week, we already kind of showed you. A lot of times people will be using their AirTurns and they want to type text and the keyboard doesn't show up. What do you do? As you know, so what you do is, as you saw me demonstrating within Virtual Sheet Music, when we want to search and the keyboard doesn't come up, take your AirTurn, look for the red power button. Click it, and then the virtual keyboard will pop up. Now, it's interesting. Once you click it, it should stay active for the session unless you turn your iPad off or unless you disable the virtual keyboard. But again, if it keeps hiding, click on that button and it'll pop up again. That's one of the things that makes the AirTurn unique with all the Bluetooth page-turning pedals, is that it has that feature to call up the virtual keyboard. Now, so again, you have to be tapping in an active text field and have that cursor going to where you would normally see the ability to type in. If the keyboard doesn't show up, just go to your red power button, click on it, and then the keyboard will pop up. So that's our tip of the week. So anyway, Fabrizio, I want to thank you so much for joining us in this episode. It's been a real treat having you on the show and learning so much about you, Virtual Sheet Music, and about your amazing app.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure.
And I look forward to having you back on the show with your app updates. And Megan, it was great having you. Congratulations on your first...
It's been fun. It's been a great first show.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure everybody's going to want to have you back again. I think you're coming back again in about a week or two, right?
On the 30th, I believe.
Yeah, we have a couple of episodes we're going to be co-hosting together. Some really interesting guests, some really interesting topics. So
It was great meeting you, Fabrizio.
Great to meet you too. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you again. This wraps up our show. And again, check out the show notes on our airturn.com/TV site. That's the site for our TV show. And you'll see links to virtualsheetmusic.com below, as well as a link to the Virtual Sheet Music app. It's only available for iPad right now. Fabrizio, any plans on introducing Virtual Sheet Music for Android tablets in the future?
Oh, actually, Jeff, I actually forgot about that because we released a version for Android. I think it was in August. Yeah, it's a very basic version. It's still not compatible. AirTurn is not still implemented, but we plan to work on the next version and allow AirTurn to work with the Android also.
All right, we'll have you back on the show when the Android version of Virtual
absolutely.
So just so you know, there is an Android version. It's not ready yet because it doesn't work in the AirTurn. But
exactly. It's very basic. Very basic.
But that's still exciting news. I mean, the Android world is getting really large, so I know you're going to get a great audience with that. So when you add the AirTurn, it'll be even bigger too, right?
Of course.
Fabrizio, it was such a pleasure. It was great to meet you in person. It's great to have you on the show, and I look forward to talking to you some more in the future, okay?
Absolutely. Looking forward. Thank you.
Please give my best regards to your wife. Megan, again, thank you so much for joining us. And this wraps up our show, episode number 6. See you next week, next Saturday, 8 o'clock.